Well, now it's time for Regional Roundup here on Media Watch, where we go through some of the more local stories making news around the country. Well, our first regional story for today is coming to us from Phoenix TV, and it's talking about Foxconn. Now, the article goes on to say that the tech giant denied reports that thousands of workers making components for the iPhone 5 went on strike at the company's plant in the city of Zhengzhou. The New York-based labor group China Labor Watch had said that 3,000 to 4,000 workers walked out of the factory on Friday afternoon, angered by the stricter quality control demands for Apple's iPhone 5 assembly line and not being permitted to take vacations during the week-long National Day holiday. The strike was said to have started at 1 p.m. on Friday and continued to 11 p.m., involving workers mainly from assembly lines and quality control inspectors. China Labor Watch released a statement which said that Foxconn raised overly strict demands on product quality without providing worker training for the corresponding skills. This led to workers turning out products that did not meet standards and ultimately put a tremendous amount of pressure on workers. The organization went on to say that Apple pressed ahead with production demands despite design problems. The new quality demands include indentation standards of 0.02 millimeters and demands related to scratches on frames and back covers. Li Chang, who is China Labor Watch's executive director, also went on to say that this strike is a result of the fact that these workers just go through too much pressure. Now, the statement went on to say that production workers and the quality control inspectors got into brawls as well, leaving some workers hospitalized. The factory management simply ignored and turned their backs when inspectors reported the brawls to them. The statement went on to say that many iPhone 5 production lines from various factory buildings were paralyzed for an entire day because of the large-scale strike. However, Foxconn Technology Group denied the report of a large-scale strike on Saturday, saying the plant suffered only two brief and small disputes on October 1st and 2nd. Foxconn also said that the brawls, which took place several days earlier, were isolated incidents and were immediately addressed, and measures were taken, including providing additional staff for the lines in question. Foxconn also stated that employees who worked during the National Day holiday did so voluntarily and were paid 3 times their usual hourly compensation as demanded by law. Now, unfortunately, this is not the first time that Foxconn has had trouble with its workers. Back in June, more than 1,000 workers engaged in riots with security staff at the factory in Chengdu. Hundreds of police came to the factory and had to arrest 10 people. Back in 2010, at least 13 Foxconn employees in Foxconn Shenzhen plants died in apparent suicides, which were blamed on tough working conditions and prompted for calls for better treatment of the workers. Well, hopefully Foxconn will try to do something in order to make sure that its workers are cared for, because as it stands right now, they aren't doing enough.